This Matchday 38 picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is, who knows, Friday, definitely. May the 23rd is the answer. Oh, it's written in the top, man. You pointed that out last week, didn't you? It's Friday, May the 23rd. It says it right there. And we are here to recap a frankly hilarious week of European action. Before we get into a frankly impossible week of trying to make picks on Matchday 38, the final weekend of the Premier League season on Sunday afternoon. Joining me, there's only one way this show can go so far. It's Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, what a shambolic start that's been.
Yeah, that was a bit of a mess, wasn't it? I mean, no surprise. You in charge of the buttons, innit?
Yeah, I struggled with it. I pressed the wrong button. I couldn't see us first. And then I remembered if you press down, then I could see us. But then I pressed down and accidentally started the stream. So then we went back up again. And then there's one sort of poorly child here who said, I won't sniff all the way through the show because she's off school poorly. And within about 1 second did the biggest snotty green sniff you've ever heard. So that was her, not me. Apart from that, Barry, only one way to go. How you doing? What's the news?
Not a lot of news, really. I've had a quiet day today. I've had a day off work. I had to take a day off work that I'd forgot to take. So an enforced day off, sitting on my backside.
Why did you have to take a day off work?
It's a long story. I get a day off, believe it or not, for the King's birthday, Malcolm. That's
fucking hell. The Americans will love that, Baz. That's the sort of thing that makes them think we're entirely retarded as a nation.
There is a time limit with which you need to take that day off. And basically the end of this, this was for last year. I totally forgot about it. I agree, it's ridiculous. But anyway, I had to take it or lose it. So I took the day off. I thought there's a bank holiday on Monday, so I might as well have a 4-day weekend.
Have you honoured the King's birthday in any way, Barry?
No, don't think I have.
Well, you should.
Well, I will. Give me a chance.
Have some chipolatas to recreate his little fat sausage fingers and something like that. Yes, my only report was the news this week. Obviously, I was heading back to my Premier League footballer, England international. I'm going to use the word friend now, Barry. My Premier League footballer, England international friend. But originally, I thought I was going on Wednesday to watch the football. Since we did the show, they then changed the party to Thursday. So I think they must have forgot the footy was on. So I went yesterday instead, which didn't make much difference. Nothing too much to report. The only bits of news were it was his birthday. It was a surprise party for this player's birthday. What does a Premier League England international footballer get for his birthday, Baz? What did everyone chip in and buy him?
Fishing rod.
Oh, I tell you what. You've hit the post there, Barry. A fish is the answer, not a fishing rod. Yeah, there was two blokes there with the gear like some sort of Japanese kind of fish specialists. And they had the big box wrapped up in pink wrapping. And then, so they went down to the lake, the same lake my roulette ball's in, opened the pink box. Inside is a big blue tank and a great big koi carp, about 2.5 foot long, a big specialist koi carp, and they put that in the lake, and he was entirely happy with that.
I saw that lake.
Oh, and also,
I saw that lake on social media the other day because
when he did the ice bucket challenge, was it you that sent it to me?
Yeah, your friend was doing the ice bucket challenge, and I spotted the lake and thought of you.
Oh, well, there you go. And also, I saw this Premier League footballer and England national friend of mine fed Prosecco to a goose, which is not a sentence I ever thought I would say in its entirety. So, yeah, that was good. And as we left, Barry, he leaned in, he gave me a hug, and he said, his exact words were, "We'll have to do this more often." Hey, so there you go. So you're out now. I've got a new mate, Barry. You're old news.
But you didn't get a clip for the podcast then? You didn't get him promoting?
Well, no, I didn't.
You're not at that stage yet?
There was no other players there again. There was more people there this time. There was a little party and a band. It was one of those, like, it's not a band, but it's like a DJ playing dance music. I know I sound like an old man when I say dance music. And then a bloke playing like the bongos along with it, a bloke on the saxophone, and a bird singing along to the dance tunes. It didn't really do it for me particularly, but I think that's what you must do if you have loads of money out on your back porch. So that was that. Just before we get into the funniest thing that's happened all week, what an awful week of picks, Barry. But Frank, luckily we don't care. I think I might have picked the worst pick of the season in that Brighton-Liverpool game. We were going all the way back to Monday night. Do you remember how confident I was it was going to be a shit game under 29.5 shots? And then the line moved to under 26.5 shots. Felt like I'd missed the value. I then watched the game and there was a shot every 10 seconds. Both teams just played like they weren't bothered. The total finished on 43. So that's a pretty impressive defeat from me. I mean, if you're going to lose by 17, which is what happened. The Premier League games on Tuesday, picked Wolves to beat Palace. That went tits up. Picked the under 2.5 in Man City Bournemouth. Looked all right in the 88th minute. We were on 2, and then they scored 2 more goals. So that was that. And then in the Europa League final, I took the turnarounds, which was on at half time because one team was winning. And that was it. But you see, that was far outweighed by the hilarity of the result. Did you pick any winners? Do you even know?
I mean, I've certainly done better than you. I took the Liverpool team total. It was a good
nice
price as well. Liverpool to score 2 or more. So that was the right way to play. Because I thought Liverpool price was big, but I thought the safer way to play it was the team total, which came good. And I took the Man City handicap as well. So 2 winners from me. I did take Man United.
Well done, us.
Don't know what I was thinking
big
there.
bush.
So yeah, 2 out of 4 in the midweek picks.
We'll talk about that Man United Tottenham game in a second. Let's say hello to who's joining us. Lee Smith was in first. Smudger, how are you doing? Harry, Chelsea. Who else is here? Joe Dollar. Joe, welcome along. Joe, Andy Williams, do some work. Andy, Connor Mack. He's got one more. Connor Sad, he's got one more weekend of us to slag in Southampton off. We'll do some championship stuff and slag them off next year. Don't worry about that, Connor. We won't leave you out completely. I think that's everyone so far. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird time today because obviously I ended up working yesterday, which I wasn't expecting. So we've delayed the show till Friday, but with a Sunday kickoff, it's not too bad. Pete's Picks is in as well. And Fef. Pete's put a couple of picks up over on Twitter at Pete's Picks 01. Go and have a look at the GGs. Crazy here as well. Everyone's joining in now. Breakfast time in the States. That Europa League final then, Baz, was terrible standard. Absolutely awful, wasn't it? I thought Tottenham were absolutely shite, especially in the second half when they got in front. They were fucking terrible. There was once, about 62 minutes, they cleared the ball to Solanke. It was about 40 yards from his own goal. And he just hooked it forwards. He had all the time in the world to take it down, try and do something, win something. And he just booted it over his own head. And that was where they were at that point. Somehow, Man United didn't score. I don't know about you. I think the entire country was waiting for that 97th minute Harry Maguire equaliser.
Absolutely.
We were just waiting for it.
I said that. I was sat watching it. Helen was on the sofa. Says, guarantee there's a goal coming. Because it felt like it, for the last 10 minutes, it felt like there was inevitably going to be a goal. But then I remembered Man United are shite.
Yeah, they were shite. So I was very, very thankful that Man United got beat. I think most sane people were. I mean, Tottenham winning wasn't ideal, but I watched it with a Tottenham fan. Matty Glover came round and we watched it together. And I was like, "What are you celebrating, by the way? Oh, we're in the Champions League." I was like, "Aye, till November, and then you'll be out of that, and then you're still shite." So really, you've won yourself 2 months of fucking what? Getting a 1-1 draw against Red Star Belgrade. Like, by November, nothing's changed. Postecoglou came out and his interview was so rooted in the result. Like, I told everyone I'd win this. I completely eschewed the Premier League in order to win this competition. And it's really easy to say that because they won 1-0. Yeah. But you fucker, it's not right. He was incorrect what he was saying. It wasn't acceptable at all. So I don't know what would change. Like, so we'll have to see with that. So the whole thing was a bit of a mess. Nothing, like I said, nothing changes for Tottenham. I don't know what difference that makes. Them playing 8 Champions League games.
At all. I mean, as you say, I thought the same about Postecoglou. Spurs have been rubbish all season. It hasn't just happened in the last couple of months when they got a sniff of winning the Europa League. They've been garbage all season. And as you say, it's like you talk about it with the penalties, where it can be a great penalty or a shit penalty, and it depends on the outcome. If it goes in, it's great. If it doesn't, it's the worst penalty you've ever seen. And it's similar with Postecoglou here, because suddenly, like, the whole story around him has changed. The narrative's changed based on the outcome of that one game against the worst Man United side we've seen in a long, long time. Because he was definitely getting sacked. If they don't win that game, he gets sacked. And suddenly now, everyone thinks he'll keep his job. But is that the right decision? Based on, we've seen 40 games of absolute garbage this season from them. And yet, one game essentially is going to save him and put him in there again. I just don't think they're going to be in a good place come November, like you say, next year. I just think.
And they were rubbish in that game, Baz. I think they were probably second best for most of the game.
I just
they
think
got the goal.
He's not going to be there in 12 months. I can't see it. And I mean, the whole narrative around it, like, I heard a load of the commentators and stuff saying, "Oh, you've got to love this for Ange after everything he's been through." What's he been through? Everything he's been through, he's brought on himself by just serving up that dog shit and making his shitty excuses all the way along. Fair enough, they've won it, brilliant, enjoy it, like, no problem with that. But that tournament's easier to win now than it's ever been. You know, they've beaten Alkmaar, Frankfurt, Bordeaux, and the worst Man United team we've ever seen. I don't know if I said that before.
You mentioned it.
It's, you know what I mean? It's a good outcome for them, but it doesn't suddenly make Spurs a really competent team and Ange a really competent manager. I think they're making a mistake by keeping him personally, but I couldn't give a fuck, to be honest.
Yeah, well, having said all that about Tottenham, I still don't know what Amorim was doing. I thought he picked the wrong team. I thought he was too slow in reacting with the substitutions. I don't know, like I say, why Garnacho. I mean, and then the players have come out today and they don't like it, apparently. That's all what they've said. We don't like it. Whenever he's trying, we don't like it. So fuck knows what's going on there. But the fact that they've got much less money to spend and hopefully, 300 million pounds in outstanding transfers still to pay before they do anything else. So yeah, tremendous. Thank you very much. Frank's joined us. Brave Francis, Man United fan. In there, we got in to try and make some picks for this week. We need to discuss how absolutely entirely impossible this is. This is like throwing horseshoes at the moon, trying to pick some winners here today. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, earn cashback rewards, 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. Deposit $25 and Edge Boost match the deposit. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And Underdog is going long for the NBA playoffs with their extender bonus. Hop in game one, and the longer the series goes, the bigger the bonus gets. Use our code PLGP, you reckon, Baz, to claim a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code PLGP. Did I get the bonus codes right for both of those, Barry? Yes. I've got the nod. Right, okay. Yeah, so initially, this card's impossible. There's so many dead rubbers. There's so many mental teams in there. It's really, really tricky. We said we might try and throw out a Maverick pick on each game. I didn't like many of mine. You messaged me about 20 minutes ago and said, this is horrible. Have you got any? Do you intend to make any? What have you found?
I've pulled some fancy pick together for every game.
Right, okay.
But as I said to you, it was hard enough trying to find an even money pick on every game, let alone you throwing a spanner in the works and asking us to find something at a fancy price. I've got a couple of things, though, that I think look okay. So I'll chuck them out, but do with it.
See, I started handicapping these games like it was match day 24, looking at the stats, looking at the recent form. And after my first two picks, I hate the first two picks I made. And I had to start again. I was like, you can't do the whole card like this. Because the first two picks I made, under no circumstances look like winners to me. I've picked them. It's mental. It's like there's someone else in my brain. Like, which one should I listen to? So I've kept the picks. You'll see them, these first two picks. They're absolutely minging. So I try to give myself a little reset and go through the rest of the card. But honestly, everyone who's going to listen to this show, good luck. But do you know what I mean? Let us know what you are picking if you're on the chat, because I've got no idea. Francis has got the right idea. You've got to find some 100-1 stuff on the last day, and we'll go for it like so. All the games kick off at the same time on Sunday, 4 p.m. local time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We'll go in alphabetical order, starting with Bournemouth against Leicester City. I don't like this goes from, when you add a new banner in, Baz, it puts it at the bottom. So it goes from bottom to top. It's not the end of the world, you know what I mean? It's a first world problem, but it's just not. It doesn't flow, Baz. Bournemouth are 9-25. What price is that? About minus 300 or something. 21-4 plus 525 the draw. Leicester 15-2 plus 750. So this is one of these top two games where I hate my pick, Barry, but I stuck with it. 2 defeats in a row has rendered this a dead rubber, really, for Bournemouth. And they're not in very good form. They've only won 2 of the last 12 Premier League games. The home record isn't that good. They've only won 7 out of 18. They've only scored 1.17 goals per game at home. And the record at home against bottom half teams is rubbish, Baz. So this is how many goals they scored against some of the dross. None against Crystal Palace, 1 against Everton, none against Wolves, 1 against West Ham, 1 against Man United, 1 against Tottenham, 1 against Ipswich. Like, instinctively in your head, Bournemouth are this sort of free-flowing, free-scoring team. And nothing really backs that up on this form. Leicester are playing without Jamie Vardy for some odd reason. He is a footballer who plays for them, so I would play him. I don't know what you're going to get out of Leicester at all, but they have won 2 and drawn 1 in the last 3 games, and they've kept 2 clean sheets. So I'm going to take a bit of a punt here. Leicester have been keeping clean sheets. Bournemouth, I've just said, don't score many goals at home, particularly against these rubbish teams. The Bournemouth team total under 1.5 is 2-1, Barry. Bournemouth to score 1 goal or less. And if you want my Maverick play, it was Leicester to win. This just could be nothing. Like, Leicester might go and win this 2-1. Yeah, that was one of the picks. But I don't want to make that picture. You know what I mean? If you give us a tenner, I'd probably put Bournemouth to score 4 goals or something. But that's just not how my head broke out all of those stats. So we'll see, Baz.
Yeah, I don't mind your pick, and it helps out with mine as well. I actually looked at the 0-0 or the 1-0 as my fancy pick at the end, to be honest, but then I steered away from it because where's the fun in that? Bournemouth arrive having slipped down into the bottom half. We predicted that at some point, but they've still got every chance of getting back in. If they can win here, could finish in the top 10 still. Lost back-to-back games against Villa and City, but certainly should be up for this, as I say, as a chance to get back into the top half should Fulham slip up. Leicester had their end of season party last week at home, didn't they? They're not bothering with Vardy this week, which mean, let's be honest, it doesn't make a massive difference. He's a bit past it now anyway, but it does demonstrate their attitude towards this game. They're not really that bothered if they're prepared to just bench him for it or take him out entirely. Bournemouth's home form hasn't been great. You just mentioned it. They're not scoring many goals. They've got just one win from their last 9. So to take Bournemouth to win here, you've got to take them in a handicap, or you've got to take their team total. And a team total, you would need them to score 3 or more. I didn't fancy that at all. There's nothing in the form line to suggest Bournemouth are going to run up any kind of score. So I was leaning towards the unders, the match unders, because Leicester might not score. That happens often enough. And if they don't, I'm just not confident Bournemouth are going to get the 3 they need. 4 of the last 6 went under 2.5 for Bournemouth. And the last 3 home games all went under 2.5. They've only scored 6 in the last 6 games now. So yeah, my pick here, under 2.5 goals at 6-4. It's a bit of a goes against the grain on the last day where everyone's expecting goals. But the books just chuck everything at ridiculous prices when it comes to overs. So might be a little bit of value there. Under 2.5 goals at 6-4 is my pick. I did stick out a little bet builder. 12-1 for shots on target, treble. Semenyo, Evan-Nielsen, and Daka. You want to check the lineups because Daka might not start, but I think he probably will with Vardy being out. So Semenyo, Evan-Nielsen, Daka, 2 shots on target each, 12-1.
Don't mind that, Baz. It's interesting that we both came down on like a low scoring game because, like I say, instinct. Last year of the season, Bournemouth v Leicester, you're thinking 5-2 Bournemouth, and then you look at it, and I just couldn't get there at all. So we both pivoted the other direction. Bootle has joined us in the chat. Bootle, congratulations, Europa League winner. Bootle, he goes into the pantheon of most successful English clubs since March the 16th, 2025, joining Newcastle United and Crystal Palace as the most successful clubs of all time. Fulham take on Manchester City next up. Fulham are 21-4 plus 425. 16-5 the draw plus 320. Man City 3-5 minus 166. Baz.
This is. I mean, it's definitely a potential banana skin for City, having dropped points against Southampton the other week and lost to Palace recently. Fulham taking points here isn't too far-fetched. The only problem really is Fulham haven't been hugely reliable lately. They've only won 2 of the last 6, and they've lost 5 of the last 8 at home as well, so not particularly good at home at the moment. Big game with big implications for City, but so was the cup final last week, and they didn't do good enough there. My first thought here was goals, because I think Fulham can definitely get on a score sheet. City might still have enough to win it, but I wouldn't rule off Fulham pulling off some sort of surprise and taking points like they did against Liverpool just a few weeks ago. This pick would have hit in 4 of the last 5 games for Fulham as well. I've gone for goals here, over 2.5 goals, but both teams to score as well. So 5-6 for over 2.5 and both teams to score between Fulham and Man City.
I'm enjoying everyone getting stuck into each other in the chat, Baz, while we're getting Joe Dollar's taking absolutely pelters off everybody. Everyone who's won a trophy when Arsenal. Excellent. You keep it up, boys. Crack on. Don't mind me and Baz. Just forget we're here. Fulham, good win last week. They won from behind at Brentford, which annoyed me. They continue the pattern of just flagrantly winning, losing in equal measure. What's the point? With no rhyme or reason, they've won 8 and lost 9 of the last 17 games. Like, they'll beat Liverpool at home, then they'll lose to someone dog shit. It's ridiculous. They've got a really good record against the top half teams, Baz. They've won 9 of 17 against teams in the top half. Man City are in decent form. No loss in 9. Did lose the cup final. Obs won 6 and drawn 3 of them. They got a bloodless win against Bournemouth the other night. Bournemouth didn't turn up particularly. 1 point should confirm Champions League football for them. I don't mind Fulham here, Baz. I'm going to give Fulham a little chance to get involved. They'll absolutely play with a handbrake off. Man City are too short on the form line. I'm going to take Fulham double chance here. 13-10 plus 130. And for my Maverick play, because I do think that Man City defence is a bit vulnerable, I've got Raul Jimenez to score 2 or more goals at 12-1, Barry. If you fancy something a bit more exotic.
Next up, whoa. Right. I've got an exotic one for you. Kevin De Bruyne, first goal, 10-1. Last ever game for City. So Kevin De Bruyne, first goal, 10-1 was the one I come up with.
He really should have scored the other night on his last home game when he hit the crossbar from 1 inch out. Like, it was virtually impossible to miss, but he managed it. So, yeah, he probably will score tomorrow. But Ipswich Town take on West Ham United. Ipswich are 2-1. The draw's 11-4 plus 275. West Ham 6-5 plus 120. Ipswich have become completely unbackable against anybody. We talked on the show last week. I don't really know how they've managed to drop off and be this uncompetitive. In the last 18 games, they've won 1, drawn 3, and lost 14. The record against the bottom 6 absolutely stinks. 4 of their last 5 defeats, they haven't scored a goal. And I think the fact that West Ham are odds against here is just testament to how bad West Ham have been. Because any other team in the world should be 8-11 minimum. I don't know really what Potter's up to. He looks a little bit haunted at the minute. He played 9 defenders against Nottingham Forest last week, which I thought was a bold choice. And then there was still a goal down after 4 minutes. Like, the goalie just gives the goal away. And you do that against Forest, you're completely goosed. I don't trust West Ham, but Ipswich have completely checked out. Absolutely, completely checked out. West Ham can win this. It's not going to be pretty bad. West Ham to win at 6-5 plus 120. And I actually think they might get a bit of a comfortable win. So my fancy play is going to be West Ham to win 3-0, 22-1, Baz.
Close. You're not far off. Yeah, you might need another goal, though. I mean, this looks like one of the worst ones on the card. West Ham have got 1 win in 10. Ipswich 1 win in 14. But I did land on a pick quite quickly here. It is a short price. But Ipswich have been pathetic the last few weeks. I want nothing to do with Ipswich. We've seen Leicester and Southampton at least put up a little bit of a fight in a couple of games here and there after the relegation's been confirmed. Ipswich have just done the opposite. They've just packed in. West Ham don't win often, but they've avoided defeat enough. They've, I think, lost 3 of their last 8. But they've scored in 7 consecutive games, so they have got a goal in them. So goals as well went. West Ham goals. Ipswich have conceded 2 or more in 6 of their last 7 now. They concede 2 nearly every week, including to teams like Everton and Leicester, who haven't got many goals in them at all. So West Ham team total over 1.5 is my pick. It's a little short. It's 8-11, but the West Ham over 1.5 team total will be my main pick. My exotic pick, Malcolm, is West Ham to score 2 or more in each half, 16-1.
Nice.
So they're going to win 4-0, 2-0 each half, Malcolm. But yeah, West Ham over 1.5 goals in both halves. 16-1 is the exotic play.
This absolutely stinks of a Nicholas Fulkrug hat-trick. Like, they signed him in the summer. He was meant to be like the new thing. I quite like him. He's a bit of a throwback, and he always does well for Germany. And then he just has done absolutely nothing. He had a bit of a moan a few weeks ago. He gets 20 minutes here and there off the bench. They'll throw him in up top. He'll score 3 headers. 3 headers from corners. Nicholas Fulkrug. What's happening? Joe and Bootler's still going. Joe and Bootler's still going at it. This is quality. If you're not on YouTube, I suggest you get across and watch Joe and Bootler's still going at each other. Excellent. Keep it up, boys. Love it. Liverpool take on Crystal Palace. Liverpool are 2-5, minus 250. 5-1 the draw. 11-2 I added up. And 5-1 Crystal Palace. You get the pleasure of leading this off, Baz. Yeah, one of the drunkest Premier League games in history, this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still laughing at the chat. It's a bit of a look forward to the Community Shield game for next year. And I suspect this one could be played out very much like an exhibition game as well. Liverpool haven't bothered trying since clinching the title. Conceded 8 goals in the last 3 games, Liverpool. I know you suspect they might want to go out on a high at home here. You've just no idea how it's going to pan out, what sort of team they're going to put out. But I do think goals has got every chance. 18 goals in the last 4 games now for Liverpool. Over 3.5 hit in all of them. And we've just seen Palace play their part in a 6-goal encounter with Wolves earlier in the week. Horrible game to be making a bet on this. The two could just piss about here and not care, or they might just play with a bit of freedom and we might see some goals. I've gone for the latter, but it's just a hit and hope, really. I'm taking the over 3.5 goals here. Just that Liverpool form recently just pushes me that way. Not my favourite pick at all, but I've gone for the over 3.5 goals here at 4-5. And then I'll put out my exotic now, because on the complete flip side of that, and if these two do just mince about for the next 90 minutes, I'm going to go for an absolute bore fest. Under 2.5 goals, under 2 cards, and under 11 corners, 14-1.
Okay,
I did have a look at cards.
Going nicely.
I was going to have a look at the cards being 0, but I couldn't find the price anywhere. So yeah, the fancy one will be the unders. Unders on the goals, unders on the cards, unders on the corners, 14-1.
Fefwef's gone over 1.5 first half goals and over 3.5 in the match. And up the ladder, over 4.5, over 5.5, like that. Yeah, we saw kind of 2 contrasting reactions to success this week, where Liverpool made loads of changes, just played a mad game where they didn't care and got beat. And Palace came out and played well and scored 4 goals, which we completely handicapped in the other direction. Liverpool are way too short on the evidence of 2 recent defeats against Chelsea and Brighton. Like, how can you take Liverpool at this price when they've just lost 2 games without trying very hard? All 3 outcomes here are on the table. And that meant, because the draw was the biggest price of the 3, I was happy to take the draw. At the time, I had Palace at 19-4. The draw was at 11-2. They're both 5-1 now. But I don't know why they can't just play out a lovely draw. No one cares. No one gives a shit. Therefore, the 2-2 draw at 20-1 caught my eye. It's a nice bet, Baz. So we'll take the 2-2 at 20-1 between Liverpool and Palace. Francis is going up the ladder for 3-3. I like that. And Harry's throwing out a Salah hat-trick. So Mo Salah hat-trick in a 3-3 draw is your bet builder there from Harry and Francis. Love that. Rhythm is your home for AI-backed picks and props. Dominate the NBA playoffs, PGA, MLB, and they've just launched WNBA 2. Rhythm knows you love it, which is why they include a 7-day free trial. 2 really good deals at the minute. 25% off a monthly subscription. The promo code is SGPN25. 50% off an annual subscription. The promo code SGPN50. That's Rhythm promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. And the Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football giveaway. Great prize this. 12-person team to 12-person league to draft in Las Vegas. You get a 2-night stay at the Cirque Resort and Casino for everybody. Draft at Stadium Swim with a $5,000 bar tab. A party at Legacy Club, limo transportation. Contest runs from May the 5th to June the 30th. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/circa. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CIRCA. And finally, we're brought to you by mybookie.ag, your place to bet on every sport, including the NBA playoffs. For the true degens, there's the MyBookie money bag. Loads of locations accepted. Crypto deposits and payouts are really fast. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code PLGP for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. T's and C's apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code PLGP. Next up is a 4 o'clock kickoff. They're all 4 o'clock kickoffs. I've said that. Manchester United taking on Aston Villa. Man United have shortened up here. They were 7-2 earlier in the week. They're now Burlington Bertie 100-30 plus 333. 3-1 the draw. And Aston Villa are 7-10 minus 142. This is me, innit, Baz? So everything that's wrong with Manchester United was on display the other night in Bilbao. A glaring lack of quality all over the pitch, from your goalkeeper right the way through your defenders. Everything's wrong. the attitudes are wrong, and I still don't really trust the manager. He's made so many mistakes that no one seems to talk about them. I was like, oh, is he the right man for the job? Can he take them forward? Can he get his own players in? I don't fucking care. Be better, like, make some better decisions, because every one of his decisions he makes appears to be dog shit. Love it. Absolutely hilarious. All of it. Villa will be going full tilt here. There's no excuses here for Aston Villa. They're the better team. They're playing a poor team who've just had an emotional and physical kick in the balls on Wednesday night. But I think Man United will play them quite hard out of pride. And I'm going to give Man United a goal, Baz. I think Villa should be able to turn them over. But the both teams to score over 2.5 isn't a bad price here. 9-10, -111. And as my fancy play, Barry, I don't know if you know, Villa have got a lad at the back called Ezri Konsa. He's dangerous from set pieces, he is, Baz. Scored against Tottenham last week, tipped him up at 33-1, if you remember. He's going double bubble. He's going back to back. Man United can't defend set pieces either, can they? It's the same handicap. Ezri Konsa, 33-1. Baz?
Yeah, I mean, Man United can focus back on the league now, can't they, with the Europa League over? Unfortunately, as I've mentioned before, I don't actually think they ever gave up on the league. They just haven't been good enough. Because the lineups they put out every week was, pretty much the same every week. And as I say, it was clear this week when they were at full tilt, absolutely giving it their best against Spurs. They were absolute dog shit. That was their best effort in a massive game for them. And what they served up was absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely miles off it. I can't see any way they're going to get anything here off Villa. You give them more of a chance than me. But Villa are in great form. They've won 8 of the last 9 games. Kept a clean sheet in 6 of those 8 as well. That would concern me if I was taking a Man United goal, because Man United haven't got goals anyway, and Villa can defend. Man United side are toothless. I think it'll be straightforward. Villa will win it. But I'm going to tag on the over 1.5 goals. So Villa win and over 1.5 is 10-11. And my wild play is wild. It's Villa to score 5 or more, Malcolm, and just put the final nail in Man United's coffin. Worst season ever. Finish with a 5-0. I don't like that pick. I just looked for a pick.
I do.
Went with something stupid. But yeah, Villa to score 5 is the exotic play, 16-1.
I absolutely adore that pick, Barry. Don't be embarrassed by that. That's beautiful. Next up is a game I will be at. I can't decide if I am excited or dreading it or somewhere in between. Newcastle United taking on Everton. Newcastle are 1-3, -300. The draw 9-2 plus 450. Everton are 7-1. Baz, come on, make me feel better about this. What are you thinking?
Yeah, massive game for Newcastle now. A win guarantees the Champions League spot. We're in good form. We've had away defeats to Arsenal and Villa. The Villa one was comprehensive. Arsenal didn't actually play that bad. But surrounding that, we've got 8 wins and 1 draw. And all of the drop points coming away from home. At home, we've just won 5 in a row. The last 3 we've won by a combined 10-0. And we've covered the handicap in 4 straight games as well. Everton, have done well enough. They can be a nuisance. Don't underestimate them. They are unbeaten in 3, but they're now locked into the 13th place in the league. And it's hard to see anyone other than Jordan Pickford really caring much about this one when it comes to the Everton side. And the problem that I think they've got here is the injuries. They've got Tarkowski and Branthwaite expected to miss out at the back. So the 2 centre-halves missing will play into Newcastle's hand. Newcastle full of goals at home anyway. It has to be Newcastle to finish the job here, and hopefully without a sweat. I'm going to take Newcastle on the handicap, -1.5 at 10-11. And my exotic pick is a massive 33-1 for a hat-trick. Who's the hat-trick, Malcolm? Yeah, he's on mute, so that's spoiled that, didn't it?
Anthony Gordon, Barry.
It is Anthony Gordon.
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon hat-trick, 33-1.
I love that. Obviously the Isak being fit or not is a big part of this handicap. I don't know if Eddie Howe was just playing silly buggers last weekend or if Isak was genuinely injured. I watched his press conference this morning and he gave away absolutely zero. The kids who worked yesterday with me at the casino, he's got 2 of his mates are in the academy, and they do a full walkthrough with the starting 11 the day before, with the academy big in the shadow, big in the opposition. So he's going to message me tomorrow if Isaac is part of the full walkthrough. So I'll tip you off about that, Baz. Yeah, try to be objective first. There's 2 parts to my bet here. The first one is the objective part, and the second bit, my mad pick, is the worst case scenario. We did all right first half against Arsenal. Probably should have been in front. Have won 6 in a row at home. The last 3 with a clean sheet. Haven't got nothing to play for, but they are the kind of team who won't phone it in. Like Everton, that's just not how Everton have historically gone about anything. I think they would dearly love to spoil our Champions League party, especially Jordan Pickford. But I'm committed to maintaining Everton are rubbish, Baz. I can't backtrack now on match day 38. They are shite. You mentioned the missing players at the back. So Newcastle have got a real need to overpower them here. And I think they will. My play is the same as yours, Baz. Newcastle on the handicap. 9-10, -111. And my fancy play, in an attempt to mush stuff, is goalkeeper saves, Barry. Jordan Pickford saves. Little ladder if you want. I actually wanted to go a bit further up the ladder, but I couldn't find anything over. Then over 5.5 saves at 7-1. I thought I might be able to find 6.5, 7.5. But anyway, over 5.5 Jordan Pickford saves at 7-1. He could make 32 saves. He'd like nothing more than so to do. So there you go. Nottingham Forest take on Chelsea. Another big game, probably the biggest game of the day here. Forest are been some money for Forest. Line movement report. They were 11-5 plus 220. They're now into 2-1. 11-4 the draw plus 275, and Chelsea are 6-5 plus 120. Chelsea have drifted out 20th of a point. I just can't have Chelsea this short, Baz. This short a favourite. Forest will be fighting absolutely tooth and nail still for this Champions League spot. That win at West Ham last week will have done them the world of good. They still need a favour off somebody, even if they win. But they did a job last time without playing particularly well. And the game script went their way for the first time in a while, which was to score first and get in front. They really need that. But Chelsea have been really lucky to have been gifted 6 points by virtue of Man United not trying and Liverpool not trying. And Chelsea really only just scraped past Man United last week. The last competitive game Chelsea have played, they went to Newcastle and lost 2-0, which is a fairly similar comparison game to this one. They still haven't got a striker because Jackson's suspended. I think I fancy Forest, Baz. I think Forest 11-5 plus 220. Cards is a good angle for my mad pick here. I think the last few minutes of this could be absolutely nuts. It could be really fractious. And it doesn't really matter what the score is for it to kick off. Whichever team's winning, the other one will want to get amongst it. And if it's a draw, they'll both want to score. So the last few minutes of this could be bedlam. And I did see how ill-disciplined Chelsea were up here. Mark Cucurella, red card. Please. I think the nation can get behind that. What a tit he is. 33-1. And Robert Sanchez is just an accident waiting to happen. Absolute accident. It would not surprise you if he's somewhere in the centre circle getting sent off at one point because he's a Burke. 80-1 for a Robert Sanchez red card, Baz. I'll split a unit on Cucurella and Sanchez.
Nice. Another one. Big implications in the battle for European spots. Forest have struggled lately when the stakes are high. End of the season, they've definitely cracked a little. Just 2 wins from their last 8 games now. And at home, where they've been so reliable, they've picked up just 1 point from their last 3. And that was Everton, Leicester and Brentford. So not even against the sort of top-end sides. So you'd think, based on that, they'd be hard to back in that sort of form. But however, like you, at the prices, I'm drawn into Forest. Because the Chelsea form on paper looks solid. They've only lost 1 of the last 8. They've 4 wins in the last 5. But they haven't played particularly well against anyone. They lost to Newcastle fairly convincingly, failed to beat Ipswich and Brentford. And even the teams have beaten, you mentioned the scrape past Man United, scrape past Everton and Spurs as well, 1-0s in all of those games. So teams down the bottom end, the teams they've beaten, the only team they've beaten by 2 goals recently is Liverpool, in a game where Liverpool were on the beach. And even then, the third goal came quite late on. I don't think either team have been particularly good. Lately, Chelsea have just come out of it better in terms of the results, but still not much between the two sides. I think it's a coin toss is the word I'm trying to find. And so putting Forest in as underdogs appeals to me. And the form against top 6 sides at home in particular, they've done really well. They've beat Villa and Man City. They've drew against Arsenal, drew against Liverpool. Didn't beat Newcastle, but there's no shame in that. They can beat Chelsea here, though. I'm going to take Forest at 2-1. And my exotic pick is one that's already been put out in the chat. It's both teams to get a red card at 50-1. Because like you, I think it could get fractious. If either team is ahead comfortably, or if it's right on the line and Forest have got to go for it, then there's every possibility of this kicking off and getting a bit dirty at some point. So yeah, both teams to get a red card at 50-1.
Yeah, everyone in the chat seems to be on the same page here. Everyone's sorted out Cucurella, Caicedo, red cards, Forest to win. There's no one really zagging where we're zigging. Bootle's off to the trophy parade. Now, see you later, Bootle. Have a lovely time. Very well done. Tottenham, Southampton taking on Arsenal. Southampton, massive drift on a Southampton line movement report, Barry. Southampton were 7-1 and now 9-1. Connor, no one wants them, Connor. The draw is 5-1. Arsenal are 1-3, minus 300, Baz.
Yeah, wait, I'm just trying to find my notes for this one. Scrolled away. Another dead rubber with Arsenal locked into second. So definitely one way you'd want to check out the lineups before going wild on this. Arsenal struggled prior to the win over Newcastle last week. That's their only win in 6. But Southampton haven't won in 14 now. And even if Arsenal rotate a little bit, I think they should have enough to go out here on a decent finish. I mean, fair play to Southampton for holding out 0-0 against Man City. But then the sandwich that between 2-0 defeats against Leicester and Everton, meant very little in the end. Can't make a case for Southampton here. Arsenal should sign off with a straightforward win. Probably win this 2 or 3-0. Pick for me, Arsenal on the handicap. Arsenal to win by 2 or more at 4-5 will be my main pick. And my slightly more exotic pick is a little bet builder. Arsenal win both halves. Saka and Trossard, 2 shots on target each, 8-1.
It's another game where we got the same pick, Baz. I feel a bit better now because I didn't like any of these, and actually, at least we're all going to lose together or win together. Southampton remain utterly hopeless. They haven't scored in 3. Arsenal remain entirely insufferable. But Arsenal have that look of flat track bullies about them. They love bullying shit teams. Like Arteta will be all over this. And I think they'll aim to win well here. I do think they can stuff them. My pick is the same as yours. Arsenal minus 1.5 at 4-5, minus 125. But my fancy players are Arsenal goals. Over 4.5 Arsenal goals is 7-1. Over 5.5 Arsenal goals is 16-1. Arsenal can run up to 6-0 here. So we'll take half a unit and play it on both of those. 4 o'clock is still 4 o'clock. Tottenham against Brighton. Tottenham are 13-5 plus 260. No, they're not. 16-5 plus 320. Tottenham have drifted out a little bit on the grounds they'll be full of booze. The draw is 100-30 plus 333. Brighton 7-10 minus 142. Can't see Tottenham being hugely competitive for 2 reasons. A, they won the trophy and they're having a lovely parade and they're all having a lovely time. And B, they're shite. So they couldn't be competitive if they wanted to. It doesn't take that away. You can't don't forget they're rubbish. That a big part of this handicap is don't forget Tottenham are rubbish. Like, if this was a normal game, if this was the second week in February, we'd just be smashing into Brighton because Tottenham are rubbish. So the cup thing it's kind of the first thing you want to mention, but it's not the be all and end all in this at all. Brighton were just nuts against Liverpool. I hate Brighton. It really winds me up. They're just cheating, Baz. Like, they played another load of those people that you've never heard of the other night. They're like a five-a-side team, and they're just all pissing around doing what they want. Oh, let's have 43 fucking shots. Like, they're not playing properly, and I'm not having it. It shouldn't be allowed. And they'll do the same here, and they'll score loads of goals. So Brighton to score in both halves is even money. And for some reason, I haven't wrote down another pick. But I'll take Brighton to score 2 goals in both halves, which is what you said later on. Or maybe a Brighton team total. Anyway, we'll go up the ladder for Brighton stuff. But yeah, Brighton scoring both halves at even money, Bass.
Yeah, the first thing that popped in my mind here was the Palace letdown earlier in the week and how we faded them coming out of the FA Cup thinking they wouldn't care. And then they went and scored 4 goals against Wolves. And we got that wrong. But I just can't see the same being the case here. Spurs only arrived back yesterday. They've got a parade today. So they'll probably have like half a training session tomorrow. I suspect that not many of those who started the other day will start at the weekend. Could be wrong. I mean, there's not a lot else coming up for them in the summer. But I can't see Spurs going for it. And even if they do go for it, nothing we've seen recently suggests that really matters. You've mentioned there. It doesn't matter. They're not very good. Don't let the result from midweek fool you. That was them at their best. And it wasn't pretty at all. That was their biggest performance that they'd saved for the biggest game. And that wasn't very good. Brighton need this one for European place possibly as well. So there's plenty to play for Brighton. And they're currently unbeaten in 4, won 3 of the 4, and they scored 9 goals in those 4. So they've got goals in them at the minute. I think Brighton will win. 7-10 is a little bit short. I'm going to tag on the over 2.5 goals. I think there'll be goals at both ends with Brighton coming out on top of it. So Brighton win and over 2.5 goals at even money. And my bigger priced one is both teams to score in both halves and over 12.5 corners. 25 to 1 for it to be a little bit of a lively one.
Harry's just thrown out Finland. All right, hang on. So in the Finnish league, I thought you meant an international game. And we're getting some live Finnish league tips here. This is good, Harry. This is what we're here for. HTP against Hacker. Over 5.5 goals. Get in. Didn't expect that today. One more game left. Have we got? Yeah. Wolves are taking on Brentford. Wolves 9-5 plus 180. 27-10 the draw. Plus 270. 27-20 Brentford plus 135. Baz, finish us off with a winner.
Yeah, so Wolves have dropped off, haven't they, in the last few weeks? They've lost 3 in a row, having won 6 in a row prior to that. And the switch around wasn't that unexpected, really, because the fixtures took quite a turn for the worst. And the 6 they won all came against the bottom 6 sides. As soon as they started facing stiffer opposition, they've struggled. Brentford had been going really well until coming up against Fulham last week. They were unbeaten in 6 and had 4 wins in a row before Fulham took them down. They dragged themselves into the race for 8th. They need a win here to still be in that and then hope Brighton lose, which isn't great with Brighton playing Spurs. But even in defeat last week, Brentford still scored twice. They've scored 13 in the last 5 games. They put 4 past Brighton, 4 past Man United. So plenty of goals in them. I like Brentford here as a pick at 6-4, but the price for them to score 2 or more at 5-6 looks a better bet to me. I think it looks a great price. Brentford team total over 1.5 at 5-6 will be my main pick here. And another little bet builder, it's Visser, Mbeumo and Lawson, 2 shots on target each, 18-1.
Yeah, this was a horrible game, really. One of the worst ones because there's absolutely nothing going on here. Brentford's got a small squeak of Europe, I think, haven't they? But it was an odd result for Wolves the other night. We expected different. But Brentford, like 3 of the last 5 games for Brentford, there's been loads of goals. I've had a 3-2, a 4-3, and a 4-2. You can then add in a Wolves 4-2 in midweek. And there's just goals everywhere you look. So over 3.5 goals here. 6-5 plus 120. And if we're going for goals, both teams to score in both halves. We've thrown that out for a few games here, but at 8-1. It's hitting both of their last games, which was Wolves against Palace and Brentford, Fulham last week. Both teams scored in both halves in the last game. So, yeah, that's at 8-1, Baz. We did it. We got through 10 games. Do you want to lead us off with your exotic plays, Barry?
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in with mine. My lock here is going to be the Brentford to score 2 or more. I really like that pick. So finishing off, that one was fresh in my mind. So that's gone in as my lock. Brentford score 2 or more. My dog's going to be Forest to beat Chelsea. Goal scorer and Mbumo, 7-5 anytime, 11-2 first and last. My corned beef pie, I've taken those teams who need a win to secure Champions League football, all to win. So Man City, Villa and Newcastle, all to win, just short of 3-1. It's about 11-4, plus 275 for that one. And then my stake and Stilton is going to be cards. And I've taken 2 of them from the Forest-Chelsea game, which everyone seems to think might have cards. I've gone for Gibbs-White and Caicedo, both to get a yellow card. And the other one's Keane for Everton. Those 3 to get a card, 38-1. So that's Gibbs-White, Caicedo and Keane, 38-1, all to be yellow carded.
Okay, love all of that, Baz. Steve has just joined us, Steve Gregory in the chat. A bit more Spurs banter from Steve. Well done, welcome along. My lock's the Arsenal handicap. I don't know why they won't smash the daylights out to Southampton. I think they're going to win by 6. So minus 1.5 isn't a problem at 4-5. Underdog is Nottingham Forest at 2-1. Corned beef pie play is over 2.5 goals in the games at Liverpool, Southampton and Wolves. And my stake in Stilton Ake is going to be a double, just a moneyline parlay. 2 draws, Liverpool Palace and Wolves Brentford. They're both going to draw 2-2 if you want to go mad. But that's 25-1. And my anytime goal scorer is going to be Kai Havertz. He's back, isn't he? He'll play because he hasn't played for a while. And if Arsenal are going to score 6, then Havertz, you'd imagine, gets 1 or 2 of them. And I have got an insane pick. Well, it sounds insane. If I tell you it's 215-1, it sounds insane. But when I tell you what it is, Baz, it should be about...
215-1, is that the highest you've got?
Yeah. If you've got...
beat that.
All right. But I reckon this should be about 9-1. Like, do you know what I mean? So have a see what you think here. It's saves, Baz. So I mentioned earlier on, Pickford over 5.5. I'm going to throw in Aaron Ramsdale over 5.5. So what happens here is, if we don't win that Arsenal to score 6 goals, it's because Ramsdale's made loads of saves. So Ramsdale over 5.5. And Matt Sells over 5.5 as well. Chelsea can make some chances, and Sells has been making some saves. So Pickford, Ramsdale and Sells. I mean, you can do doubles and up if you want. You can get some 50-1 doubles. 215-1 for those 3 to make over 5.5 saves. Bootle's locked himself in the house, trying to get to this. We've got live drama going on here. He's trying to get to the Tottenham parade. This is the most Spursy thing I've heard in ages, Bootle. Tottenham got a trophy, and Bootle's locked himself in the bathroom. So, well, mate, you've got to go through that window head first. I want to see. This is quality.
Yeah,
I'm assuming bigger than a 215-1. What you got?
I assume he's locked out rather than locked in.
Oh, right. You think he's locked in?
He's left in a hurry.
Well, why is he trying to get in the house? I thought he was going out.
He's not left. He's left in a hurry and not picked his key up, I think, is the answer. But anyway, moving on. We've got a ladder, obviously, and we're doing something a little bit different here. I've picked 3 games. I've gone for games that I think will have goals in. Southampton v Arsenal, Spurs v Brighton, and Wolves v Brentford. So we'll start off at the bottom of the ladder. All of those games over 2.5 goals, 2-1. All of those games over 3.5 goals, 8-1. All of those 3 to go over 4.5 goals, 44-1. Now we're talking.
Yes.
And we'll finish off with over 5.5 goals in those 3 games between Southampton, Arsenal, Spurs, Brighton, Wolves, Brentford. Over 5.5 goals in all of them, 226-1.
Yes, Barry, well done. You've redeemed yourself there. Yeah, I love that. It's got a chance, Baz. Well done. We made it to the end. have you got anything you want to tell the people before we let them go, Baz?
Yeah, I'm following in your footsteps. I'm off to the northwest of England this weekend. Not to a Premier League footballer's house, but I'm going to a music festival. Going to the Neighbourhood Weekender in Warrington.
Oh, I was very near Warrington last night. I passed it. I passed the sign for Warrington when I was on my way home. What? With a fam?
Yeah, 4 of us are going up. So who's on?
Tent?
No, it's just one day. We're just going the one day. The Sunday lineup wasn't great, so I wasn't bothered about it. Saturday, who have we got? James, the Wombats, the Ratings, the K's, Blue Tones, Ocean Colour Scene.
Oh, I fucking love the Blue Tones, Baz.
And quite a few smaller bands that I wouldn't mind seeing. To be honest, I'll miss James because they're clash with the Ratings. I'll miss the Wombats because they're on the same time as the K's, who I want to see. But there's quite a few up-and-coming bands that I've had to listen to this week, just ones that I can go stake out on some of the smaller stages. So looking forward to catching up with a lot of music for the weekend. Should be good.
Yeah, that sounds all right. Go and see the Blue Tone. Mark Morris, the lead singer. I've seen him just play by himself as well. He's a very funny man.
I went with you. I'm sure I went with you to the Clooney.
Oh, right, was it you? I just remember laughing at his crack. Like, you've got to have a bit of patter, haven't you? But he was very, very funny. I remember that. Oh, well, that sounds tremendous, Barry. Have a lovely time. I've got nothing to report. The part 2 of the Hate Watch tomorrow, Sunderland. Let's hope Sunderland can complete the double. Man United getting over the line for us on Wednesday night. So good luck with that. I've got double kids presentation tomorrow. 2 concurrently. So he's got to go to the first one, leave the first one to go to the second one before returning to the first one. But I'm not doing that middle. I'm going to the first one and staying in the pub to watch Sunderland, Sheffield United. And then 2 free pints, Barry, at Newcastle on Sunday. The Saudis are paying for 2 free pints for everyone at the match. So I'll partake in that. Thanks very much, Baz. We'll be back maybe Sunday, maybe Monday. We've got the Conference League final. And that's probably it. Then we'll get into the Champions League final next weekend. And then we'll have to find some bullshit to do through the summer. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. The Club World Cup, Barry. Urawa Red Diamonds against Mamelodi Sundowns. I've already been getting stuck into it. I'm well excited. Thanks, everyone, for the chat. Thanks, Brutal and Joe, for entertaining everybody in there and not killing each other. Good luck with your bets on Sunday. Enjoy the football. And we will see you all down the road. Cheers. Where's the thing? Make the thing come on.
You're hopeless. This is your job.
I'll press the button, isn't it? Oh, there it is.